Hey!
We're live!
Happy Monday, everybody!
Happy Monday! Cheers!
I accept!
Cheers! How are we all doing today?
Are we good? Oh, I've just come off the phone.
Oh, like literally.
Quite literally.
Just literally.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Shamai, waves, hello. How are we all doing? It's Monday. It's the 1st of June. Oh, pinch, punch,
There
miss
you
the
go.
month. No returns.
There you go.
Oh, no, in stereo going on over here. It's Monday, it's the 1st of June. It is sunny and warm and glorious.
It was so nice. It's been lovely over the weekend.
It makes
We actually had a little dip in the pool.
We did.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
It was.
We've got Shamai from Helen. Hello from
Sophie.
me and Mary from Liz. And hiya from Sophie as well. Hello.
They are
hello.
embracing the new rules and regulations and guidance.
Indeed. Hello, Jilly as well. Hello.
Excellent. Hello, Julie.
Of course, in Wales, lockdown has eased a little bit if you've been shielding.
Tiniest smidge.
A little slither in that two households can get together.
Oh, lifeguard Lauren's in the house.
Hello,
outside
Lauren.
of the sunshine. Hello, Dion.
So yeah, in Wales today, you can meet up with a different household, 2 meters apart, socially distant. Don't go into the house.
No. Not even for a week.
Not even for a week. If nature calls, do it outside. Or go home. And so, yeah, and even those that are shielding, a surprise announcement from Welsh Government over the weekend.
Yes.
If you're shielding, you can also go out and about.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, if you know anyone that's shielding at the moment and they had that dropped on them, has it made you feel confident? Are you still able to do it? You can't go shopping.
No, you can go and just enjoy the fresh air.
The fresh air and social distant garden parties with one other household.
Yes.
Hello, Dion. Lifeguard Lauren, I love that. We're currently, you don't know this, we're emptying the pool ready for this evening.
I can see, yeah,
that's fine.
Very good.
Love the pool.
Empty.
It is, yes.
Tallulah just lives in the pool. I think she did like 6 hours the other day. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Genuinely did as well. What's the longest time any of you have spent in your little paddling pools?
Oh, Liz is seeing Mum and Dad later on too. She's doing the rounds.
Love it. Do the rounds.
Excellent. Feels like a great day.
It does. With the sun shining, smiles are out. In fact, I think, I know that Liz took a picture earlier and Mary's got the sunny side of the garden. So Liz has taken a picture in the comments and she's in the shade and like loving life. And Mary's just there like this. It's so hot.
Oh, Lauren is saying my neighbour has been out for a walk for the first time in 12 weeks. And she was over the moon. I'm so pleased to hear that, Lauren, because I was wondering what shielded people would feel about that.
Because was it just Friday or Thursday that there was, hello Mel, there was someone who was shielding with really bad asthma and you could hear it in a thing as well. She could barely talk.
That was a good day.
And
hey ho Wayne.
Yeah, she just didn't know what was like, that this was the announcement was coming. And now all of a sudden she's allowed out and she didn't even have a garden.
Mad.
Today is a great day. Bang. Today is a great day.
It is. That's very good.
Hey ho, late on parade. Hello Wayne, cool sister.
It's quite funny really because when it was announced on Friday what was going on, you know, it's still quite restricted in Wales. There were real mixed emotions, weren't there? Mm-hmm. Some people I know were really flat.
Yeah. And
just like, oh God, this is hell. But it's also on the flip side, it's also really nice seeing Lauren's comment about her neighbour going, yes, I can go out.
Yeah, here I am. I'm free.
That's really good. Swings and roundabouts, I guess.
It is swings and roundabouts. So I'm really pleased. What's her mum still isn't aware she doesn't need to shield as much as she has been.
Oh, she's loving life in the garden. She's happy.
Hey, if you're happy as Larry,
that's good too. That as long as you're feeling safe, that's the most important thing.
That is the most important thing. So I'm pleased for anyone that these slight easing of restrictions have come at a good time for you. We're now officially allowed to see other people because there may have been some people doing it anyway, but that's fine.
I think most people are doing it anyway, to be honest. This is no great shakes, really.
No, and it is different to England. If you look at the images of England, there's people cliff jumping in Devon the other day. 2 air ambulances were called, and there's just people crowded everywhere.
Well, people have gone, freedom! And just all sitting next to each other, getting coronavirus.
Yeah, so it's really odd. And Matt Haig, who's the writer of, I've forgotten what he's written. He's a big mental health advocate. He's written books. What's it called? Please, someone help me in the comments of what the book's called from Matt Haig. He's got a few now. Oh, hello, Mr. Wu. He's just joined in as well. but he was Truth Pixie, I think that's one of them, and he was saying, because of course there's lots of protests going on at the moment.
Yes, there is.
And they're not necessarily the most socially distant
Black
events.
Lives Matter.
Yes,
hashtag.
They do. Yes, I've been pondering my thoughts on it this morning, and I think I'm going to publish it on Wednesday.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Because it's such a huge topic. I thought that maybe we could talk about it later on this morning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This afternoon, even.
This afternoon. Yes,
yeah.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yes.
It's 1 o'clock. June 1st.
Oh, Josh is saying, personally, I love the new little lift of restrictions. It's a huge positive step for me. Can visit people outside, more than happy. I think half the issue is a lot of people have been doing it wrongly, which is why it's less of an impact. Totally agree with you there, Josh.
Yeah,
we are officially allowed to go into people's gardens and spend some time with loved ones.
Yeah, staying distant and actually enjoying that company, because people that have been doing it by the letter of the law, haven't had that.
No.
And it's interesting coming from Josh as well, who has been back and forth to a workplace.
He has.
It's still not the same as being able to just chill out with other households and be in that safe space of family gatherings and just be able to be yourself. So it is huge.
Totes. Hey, Mr. Woo.
Yep. Hey, Pips.
Oh, Wayne is staying shielded. Nothing has happened just by lifting shielding. I'm with you there, Wayne.
It was interesting.
I feel it.
Because when they shared it, they've said that people can do it. Oh, hello, Jojo. Jojo has been mentioned on these lives before.
She has indeed.
She has indeed.
Yes.
Hello. So what was I just about to say? No, nothing's happened. So the evidence came out, or the brief came out on Friday or Saturday. No, it was on the weekend. Saturday, shielding's lifted, but there was no actual evidence or justification for doing it because the R rate is still increasing.
It has increased.
It's increased.
Yes.
New cases are still very high. Deaths are still consistent at 300. And it's huge. It really is massive.
It's scary. They're normalising massive numbers, unfortunately. Mr. Byron is in the house.
Oh, hello.
Welcome. Call off the stage party. He
is here. Right, we'll take you off now.
Oh, Liz is saying it's a huge relief. A long way to go, but a huge relief. Hello, Collie.
Hello, Collie.
Definitely seeing some people out in the car from the front door for a few minutes to drop something off is very different to being able to sit and relax in a family or friend's garden and know what's over your shoulder. I totally agree with you, Josh. And that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who have been doing those door-to-door drop-offs who have been shiftily looking over their shoulder and be like, oh, so someone's going to ring 101 or something and report me.
Yes.
Which is essentially what this track and trace app wants to do once it's finally operational. Oh, it's the 1st of June. It should be operational today.
Oh, okay. Yalla. Hello, Mike.
Yalla, Mike. Hello. So that's kind of been the roundup of the weekend. But as Matt Hager was saying, that yes, we want to see people protesting, but there's also the other side, which is, but they're also close together.
Which is worrying. And, unfortunately, COVID-19 does kind of discriminate.
Yes.
In that black males are being hit really hard with this virus, which is a huge worry.
That is a huge worry. And it's like, how do you strike that balance? It's really, really difficult because it's something that's so fundamental in our society at the moment that it needs to be addressed. And
100%.
There's a great post which is kind of they had the picture of the Target store that was on fire, and they said, why can't they just do it peacefully? And there was a list of 6 other things of people taking a knee, of people silently protesting, and nothing's happened. So it has to turn to this.
Outrageous.
And of course, at the beginning of what is also Pride Month, that started with riots.
Yes.
The Stonewall riots. People had to throw bricks and do everything then at the same time.
I saw there was a history of how things are the suffragettes. Riots. There was something else as well. Unfortunately, most things have had to happen with riots.
Yeah.
Because people don't listen.
They don't. And they're like, why can't you protest peacefully? And it was like, what? You mean like all of this?
Oh, thank you, Liz. Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Hay.
Reasons to Stay Alive. That's the one. We've been briefly joined by Khalees and Harrod on Instagram as well. Hello.
Oh, Collie, personally, I think it's great that people shielding have the choice.
Nice.
There's nothing quite like sunshine and fresh air, and I'm thrilled I can see the family, albeit from a distance. Planning beach days ahead. Excellent.
Because we are very fortunate in that we are local.
We live 5 miles from the beach.
Yeah, we are local to the beach, which means it's within our catchment, so we can enjoy it. Rian just went back. She loved the she loved the
loving the weather, but not my bloody hay fever.
And I feel like Dion's agreeing with it as well. My nose flares up and down like no man's business. Yeah. Khalees, you are very much in my mind whenever I'm trying to speak about this going forward, because it's something that I don't know much about. And I mentioned about writing earlier, about just how little I know. And a friend of mine in Bristol, he sent a tweet out earlier, and he's like, "Yes, I agree that I'm not racist, but I haven't necessarily been anti-racist." Okay. And it's that silence.
You haven't been proactive in change.
Yeah, and I think that's the big fundamental shift that needs to come. And it's really important that we do take note and listen to it. And the big thing which has been more talked about with this case
is power in numbers.
Yeah, power in numbers.
Get nothing done. It's power in numbers.
Yeah, and it's mainly not talking about the individual events, which have all been tragic, like George Floyd being the latest of lots of tragic deaths over the years. But it's just how systemic it is, and how it's ingrained in us, how it's educated in us. To always have that kind of that slant on other races, on other cultures, and that's something which needs to be more proactively engaged with and actually stopped.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's get rid of the president first.
That's true. Have people seen the Time magazine?
Yes, I loved it.
Wow, like statement and
bloody
statement
brilliant.
Tom told me it's been a nice break from you. He's horrible, isn't he? I don't know if there's a reply to someone. I'll reply to Collie. I love you, Mum. I love you, Mike.
Sophie's got the Severn Estuary. It's lovely, but it's not quite the beach.
Not quite. But any form of open water is good for you. Like, it's literally good for you, scientifically proven.
Fresh air and sunshine is good for you. Vitamin D.
We've got a new top fan of the page, people. Whoop, whoop. Welcome to the club. Yay! You are in great company. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Say hi to everybody.
There you go. Oh, how have you hurt your hand?
Oh, wait, can you go and brush your...
No.
Thank you. Oh, John, a cultural shift is needed across the board. Let's face it. Totally agree with you, John.
I completely agree.
Grab a snap then.
By the way, you
Top fans unite. I love it. Oh, we haven't even said it. Welcome to the diehards, Rian. I suppose that's ultimately the brotherhood that you're in now.
Excellent.
So yes, welcome. So where are we going? What are we talking about? We're talking about weekends. We're talking about lockdown. We're talking about Black Lives Matter.
About George Floyd.
And the murder that was committed on him. Not just police brutality.
Out and out. Filmed. Yeah. Videoed.
And
evident.
As some people pointed out, they were quicker to arrest people destroying a building a couple of days later than they were arresting the 3 officers that did it and kind of waited.
Outrageous.
Die Hard fans, I love that. Mike, you are one. You are one.
Yeah.
Sophie got her top badge over the weekend as well.
Rian's got her top fan badge. Take care, thank you for joining us, Rian.
Thank you. So Sophie's got her top fan
Sophie's got hers over the weekend.
I love it.
Whoop, whoop.
And I realised I can find out how long you've had your top fan badges for over the weekend as well. Yeah. So there's 2 people in the group that have had it for 3 months, I think. Very well done.
Big up the people.
Very, very well done. One thing I've also found out by accident, because I was tagged in a comment thread, is that some of our diehards already live in a very similar area to each other, and are even kind of have been to the same church. And know people.
Okay.
Hello, NadX on Instagram. Hello. So that was crazy. That it was. Like,
yeah, that is.
We're bringing people together who could have already been in the same pub at the same time.
Wow.
So I think plans are, when lockdown's lifted, they're going for a Sunday lunch.
Oh, sounds delightful.
I like the sound of that a lot. Yes. Let's have a look. Off to the beach.
Mr. Wu's garden. Can't wait for the rain.
Oh, dear.
The runners are dying of thirst.
Oh, no.
Get the old watering can out, Mr. Wu.
Old school. It's a very small world. It is a small world. And that's why, I suppose, bringing this back to the kind of the theme of today, it's really important to look after each other and to recognize each other and to acknowledge each other, regardless of race or creed or culture or whatever, because it is a small world.
Yeah.
And it's really important. I found it really difficult to write about this morning because we're from West Wales.
We are white, we are privileged.
Yeah, and our exposure to other races and other cultures is like 0.01.
Yeah, it's very minimal.
So small. And even when I went to university, still that demographic was so small. And part of the reason for that is because they're not afforded the same opportunities.
Yeah.
And this is going back to that systemic change that's happening that has been in place for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
I read a Twitter feed the other day. There was a secret FBI file which was designed to oppress. Oh, hello.
Hey.
Black thought leaders.
Wow.
And they denied it until there was a break-in to the FBI offices and they found this file.
Absolutely crazy.
So yeah, it was part of.
It's about
politics.
power, though, isn't it? It's awful.
Very much so. And
people in power need to, take heed of what power they have and change.
Yeah. So I've been trying to educate myself and try and just get better at all of that stuff, really. So yeah.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
Another thing which I've seen this morning, McDonald's are opening up every single drive-through by the end of the week.
Every single one?
Every single one.
Wow.
They have made a pledge.
It's going to be mayhem.
They have made a pledge that McDonald's drive-thrus can now open. Now,
that's a scary thought.
That is a scary thought, particularly where our local McDonald's is, because it backs onto a roundabout.
Yeah.
So it's going to be carnage.
Not cool.
Did anyone see the images 2 weeks ago of people going to the few that they opened and the 40 seconds of queuing traffic?
It was mental.
Which also reminds me, the M3 was at...
Sorry, what are you doing today?
She wants the limelight today.
I know. It was gridlocked.
I know.
Yeah, the M3 was completely gridlocked. Let's have a look. Mum's not complaining about the furloughed life. But she also runs a business which is gearing up.
Oh.
Shock to the system. Indeed. Trying to get back to it.
Oh, Josh is questioning, are we allowed to sit on the beach freely? I thought it was 5 miles only to see family and friends. I suppose could visit the beach for a walk, but not spend the day sunbathing.
So that was the exact example given by Mark Drakeford, is that you can socially distant, doesn't have to be in a household. It can be somewhere else that's open or outside. So we are able to do that, which is really cool.
And Paul Mellon's come in. Cat!
Fluffy white cat. Who's now, the camera's moving because she's gumming the side of the...
Do not do that. Jesus.
You just need to hold on to the back of the car, like a Back to the Future. I just saw a comment about roller skating.
Yeah.
Can I use the drive through?
With my roller
my roller skates. Let's have a look. There's a few comments coming in, just trying to catch up. Oh, interesting.
What?
Wayne's comment. Lived in Birmingham when he left school in 1974-75, witnessed lots of racism, also lots of anti-Irish racism, as it was the time of the Birmingham pub bombings as well.
But it's like China, though, with COVID-19.
Well, yeah.
They had horrendous abuse. Our local Chinese restaurants all shut down, and they've only just reopened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not their fault that coronavirus happened.
No, and it had nothing to do with them at all.
Mike is making you read Catcher. Very clever, Mike. Very clever.
I like that. So the only comment I can now see is, do beaches not count as beauty spots? They would if you're travelling more than 5 miles to them. Rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are within 5 miles of said beach, which is part of your local community, you are able to go, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Some of them definitely aren't. Is that I replied to Liz? Yes. Beaches classed as beauty spots.
Oh, true.
Depends if you class Splot Beach as a beauty spot, I suppose.
Oh dear. Oh, Mary would recommend When They See Us on Netflix for an insight into racism in America. Oh, thank you, Liz and Mary.
Thank you very much.
I think it's important that we educate ourselves on this and look at the history and why there are riots happening and why particularly in America. I don't know about other countries, but it's certainly sort of advertised in America a lot more that these things are still happening in today's society. So I think it'd be good to educate ourselves.
Yeah, I know that I've shared a few things on Instagram which have got resources to different documentaries. They mentioned that Netflix one and like 5 others. Books you can read, podcasts you can listen to. So yeah, it's worth having a listen to figure out exactly what's happened over the generations, because we only see this little snapshot.
Yeah,
and that's why change doesn't necessarily happen because it's contained.
Yes. So where Collie lives, Josh, she Googled it and it's exactly 5 miles.
Exactly. But using Mark Drakeford's rule of thumb.
Indeed.
We'll use his rule of thumb and we'll get to a beach. I'm just saying.
Oh, Helen. Helen is a teacher and she's just sent out work for my Year 8 history classes on an introduction to slavery. Hard topic to teach, but so important that they understand it. So well done. Really good.
And there's been a lot of talk about education and how we're kind of diverted to think in certain ways. And when I was in school, we didn't do anything on or so little on slavery and the kind of the people that come through it.
Charlotte is saying, watch 13th. Also to do with systemic racism in America, made me weep like a baby. Oh wow, that must be a good watch.
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte, who I think is a first-time commenter.
Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, Charlotte.
Welcome. Josh is going to Google his address.
Oh God, you can do this.
Mike, has anyone seen the Epstein documentary on Netflix? I've seen a few videos online about it before, but this was done very well. He was defo murdered. Yeah,
so Jeffrey Epstein, arrested for child ring paedophile offences, was taken into custody, and he took his own life.
Yes.
And he's got links with, I think, Prince Andrew is one of them.
Yes.
Because that's where that famous press conference came through.
It was horrendous pigs.
I can't sweat. And stupid such sayings like that. Think Dominic Cummings before Dominic Cummings, and you've got an idea. Dion.
My grandparents are from Mumbai, and when I was small, there were 2 children in my class that when we lined up wouldn't hold my hand as they didn't like curry.
What?
That's awful.
Oh, that really is. It's like, like that makes me angry.
Wow.
Like that makes no sense. And then you look at particularly.
But you've got to look at their parents and what they've been, brought up learning about and what they think is normal in their household.
Yeah.
It's about re-educating generations of people, isn't it?
It really is. And like starting with school, that's how the next generation become more aware of it. And with internet and the kind of the information freedom that we have at the moment, more younger people are using that resource to find out more about it.
And thank God for social media. And there's pros and cons to social media, but people are more exposed to what is out there, what's going on in the world, and how, to bring about change. Social media is a great platform, isn't it? And there's lots of celebrities at the moment, hashtag Black Lives Matter and things like that, and it's important just to go with it.
I think what I'll do, loads of people have put down recommended watching and things like that. I might put them as the quotes
that'd be really
today.
good.
So but later on this evening you'll see I'll compile a list of what everyone's recommended.
Wayne is saying watching Mississippi Beer is also a good one.
So you can come back to this page later on and I'll compile a list of what everyone's mentioning so we can educate ourselves.
And we've got a right old chinwag going on about what's rule of thumb and how many miles is it to the beach in Port Avon.
I love the topics we cover.
Oh dear.
Amazing. It's an uphill battle getting people to break through their conditioning. I completely agree.
It is.
But one thing that I'm aware of through my experience and through looking at acceptance and commitment therapy and solution focus is that people can be conditioned out of their thoughts and out of their limiting beliefs. So if they can be trained, for want of a better word, out of those thoughts, then they can certainly be trained to look into a wider thing. It doesn't happen overnight.
No, absolutely doesn't.
But through kind of being open-minded and opening your arms to these kind of things, and the wider world and not just our little bubble. This is what I was trying to come to terms with, is that bubble. I haven't been adversely affected by racist events and things like that, but that's not enough to not stop more.
No.
And I think that's what's really important.
And the other example was gay pride.
Yes.
And accepting homosexuality.
Yeah.
Like, it was a crime.
Yeah.
Like, how outrageous is that?
Yeah. And like, yes, that was a black and white crime. And of course, what a lot of black people are saying now is that the color of my skin does not make me does not make me a criminal now.
No.
Like, that's just the color of my skin doesn't mean anything. And there's been some really moving videos online of people trying to,
and TikToks as well.
Yeah, of people trying to explain to these protesters and these rioters that it's the color of our skin, but there is change. And there was one 30-year-old guy was talking to a 40-plus-year-old guy who was talking to a 16-year-old boy.
Oh,
and he was like, the way we're doing it is not working. It's up to you to try and solve this over the longer run. It's not an overnight thing, but what's happening overnight is with this violence and with protesting and rioting, that people are taking note.
Yeah, awareness. Yeah.
And even all the way over in Cardiff, there was a socially distant protest, and it was peaceful. And it looked amazing on the images as well. And it was people from all backgrounds.
It's so encouraging, isn't it? You know, to see that people are standing together and it's not tolerated anymore, you know? Yeah. We should be empowered to make change. It's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was one sheriff, I can't remember where he's from, but I've saved the link somewhere, so I'll be sharing that on the page in the week as well, where he took his helmet off.
He said, what can I do?
He said, what can I do? And someone shouted back, walk with us.
Stand with us.
Yeah.
And he did. And that's so lovely.
Like, the chills that I had on my arms and on my hairs when I heard that, I was like, this is amazing. And he said, I don't want it to be a protest. I want this to be a parade. Let's walk. And whenever I've quoted it, I've put in boxes together to finish that sentence, because that's what he's referring to. Let's walk together. They're not lining the street and saying, we will watch you as you walk. He was like, let's walk together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important. That's so powerful. And he's done a second video, like the end of that walk, at the end of that day, it's black and it's dark. And he's talking again at them. He's saying, we're here together.
He's using his power, like, why? Bringing the community together. And that's what people in that authority and power should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I am powerful, you bow down to me.
Yeah. Get down.
It doesn't work in this culture anymore. It shouldn't do anyway.
Yeah, there are no subordinates. We're all equal on this planet. We're all different humans, but we're the same. We're the same human, just different.
Totally. Just saying, hopefully this movement will make big changes in the future. Nobody should be marginalised in society, especially not those for their skin colour, nationality, sexuality, disability, and all those characteristics. And it's just madness that it still goes on.
It is.
When I was in Brum, it was also the time of the influx of Ugandan Asians expelled by Amin. I had some wonderful conversations with them.
Idi Amin.
Wow.
Yeah. We're all equals. We're all humans. I love this. So that was kind of what I had in the back of my mind to talk about today, and I'm glad that it ended up being a more progressive conversation than me kind of tentatively saying, I'm a white person, what am I talking about Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, because you don't look like an idiot either.
No, but it's really important, and like people suggesting different documentaries.
But we support it, and we want to educate ourselves on it.
Yeah, and my favourite quote at the moment is, I don't understand, but I stand with you, and that's how I feel. And I feel really, really passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because it is unfair.
I totally agree. And I like these. It's driving out hate with love.
Yeah.
And love conquers all.
Love it.
Sending loads of love. Oh, Colette. Apparently Trump refuses to unveil Barack's portrait in the White House. Can you believe this is true? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's
love always wins every time, no matter what.
Mike, I agree with this premise, but certain criminals should not be treated as equals. No, they deserve death. Wow. Okay. Just chuck that one in, Mike.
Yeah. So criminals.
Yeah, criminals should be treated as criminals, no matter what colour they are or where they're from, religion, this, that, and the other. But
what shouldn't happen is you shouldn't be a criminal purely because of the complexion of your skin.
Yeah, and how you're treated for the crime that you may be committed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure if a white person was in George Floyd's position the other day, he would not now be dead. And I think that's what you've got to think about.
Yeah. A guy turned up at a protest today or yesterday in full like A60 gear, American hat on, wasn't a police officer. He was there to help them. And all the police did was say, go home, please. And as everyone was pointing out, if a black man had turned up with an assault rifle in full camo gear, he would have been shot. And yet this white guy just marched up to the police and said it was fine.
Crazy. I shared this weekend, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. So I will learn what to say and learn what to do. Thank you, Haz. That's really lovely.
No,
you're not pretending to know, the rights and wrongs or what the politics behind it and things like that. But and it is just about learning, educating yourself.
It really is.
To make positive changes.
And Rock Against Racism, I definitely didn't make it up. Don't know, someone's quoting. There's a bit of a conversation now about criminal justice, which is a whole episode in and of itself.
Oh my goodness, yes it is.
So we'll come back to ethics and criminality in a future episode, I think. Today the message is about Black Lives Matter.
100%.
So I'm going to discourage the continuation of that conversation for now. And
I think a list of all these really poignant movies, documentaries, and things like that would be really good to put out afterwards. If anybody is interested in learning and more educating yourself more on this topic, then
look out for a post later on.
Tom will put a post out later.
Yeah.
And I think on that note,
we're up to 31 minutes.
Black Lives Matter today and every day. We shall leave it there. And please go and enjoy the sunshine. And we shall see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Cool. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy socially distant chats. And we will be back again tomorrow.
Woohoo! Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's been really nice.